If you find yourself feeling disoriented and depleted long after an interaction that seemed ordinary on the surface, stay here for a moment. You know the feeling. The conversation seemed fine. Nothing dramatic happened. No explosion. No fight. And yet, hours later, you are still not okay. Drained, foggy, ashamed, replaying, wondering what you did wrong. If this is you, stay here for a moment. Here is what to understand about this pattern. It is not a sign that you are too sensitive. It is not evidence that you are broken. It is not something you should be able to just shake off. It is an adaptation. Something your nervous system learned to do. Because at some point it needed to. It's an energetic memory. Somewhere in your childhood, your nervous system learned that certain interactions were not safe. Not because of what was said. Because of what was underneath. The tension you could feel but not name. The unpredictability you learned to brace for. The sense that something was wrong. Even when nothing obvious happened. Your nervous system learned something specific from this. It learned that you cannot trust your own perception. That something dangerous might be happening, even when you cannot see it. That the crash after contact is a signal. That you have survived something. So your body learned to collapse. Not because you are weak. Because your system learned that the cost of certain interactions is exhaustion, disorientation, and shame. Here is what that means practically. The crash is not in your head. It is in your nervous system. When you interact with someone who triggers the old pattern, your body does not wait for something dramatic to happen. It activates the old learning. The learning that says, this is not safe. You are not safe. Something is wrong. And after the interaction, your body continues to process. Not because you are overthinking. Because your nervous system is still trying to figure out what happened, whether you are safe now, whether you did something wrong. The crash is the cost of that processing. The exhaustion, the fog, the shame, the replaying. This is the resonance angle. What you are carrying inside resonates with what is outside that matches it. If you learn that certain interactions leave you dysregulated, you will be drawn to people who trigger that response. Not because you want to crash, because the familiar feels like home. And people who leave you feeling steady, who do not trigger the collapse, who you can interact with and walk away feeling fine. They may feel wrong. Not wrong because they are wrong. Wrong because your nervous system does not recognize them. They do not fit the template. They do not activate the familiar pattern of collapse and shame. The person who leaves you crashing is not more powerful than you. They are familiar. And the dysregulation you feel is not proof that something is wrong with you. It is the cost of a pattern that was never updated. Here is what this pattern is costing you. You avoid interactions that might be good for you, because you cannot predict which ones will leave you crashing. You second-guess your own perception. Was it really that bad? Am I making this up? Why am I still not okay? You feel ashamed of how long it takes you to recover. You tell yourself you should be over it by now. You should not be this affected. And underneath the crash, there is a younger part of you that learned that your body's signals cannot be trusted. That part is still waiting for someone to say, your body is not lying to you. Something was wrong. You are not crazy for feeling this way. In the session that follows, we are going to work with this pattern directly. Not by telling yourself to stop overthinking. Not by trying to shake it off faster. By going into the body. where the crash lives, and updating what the nervous system believes about certain interactions. The session will guide you through the felt sense of the collapse, the beliefs beneath the shame, the younger part of you that learned that your perception cannot be trusted. And then it will resource that part with something it did not have back then: your presence as an adult, your capacity to be with what arises, and a deeper truth about who you actually are. Beneath the dysregulation. Let's now go to the integration session. If you find yourself feeling disoriented and depleted long after an interaction that seemed ordinary on the surface, stay here for a moment. Take a slow breath and arrive here. You do not need to analyze anything. Let the words land where they land. Your body will take what it needs. This material is emotionally activating by design. It works by meeting what you are carrying directly, to get the full benefit and stay present rather than overwhelmed. Tap gently on a single point as you listen. If you know AFT, you can use all 9 points. But using only a single point, such as karate chop or collarbone, keeps your attention inside the feeling, rather than tracking where to tap next, and is just as effective. And begin. I now recall how this pattern shows up in my life. I tend to feel responsible for how others feel around me. I often assume that if someone seems off, I have done something wrong. I believe that my worth depends on keeping interactions smooth and pleasant. I frequently replay conversations to check if I made a mistake. I have a hard time trusting my own perception after someone acts unpredictably. If this resonates, we will now gently connect with the emotional experience behind this pattern. I feel emotionally wrecked after interacting with certain people. I crash after contact, even when nothing obvious happened. I feel drained, foggy, or ashamed after being around them. I replay conversations and feel disturbed afterward. I feel dysregulated for hours or days after contact. I lose energy after being exposed to their behavior. I feel small, confused, or destabilized after interacting with them. I notice my nervous system spirals after engagement. I feel a wave of shame after I leave the interaction. I struggle to recover quickly after contact with difficult people. Even though I feel this heavy crash after certain people, and it feels like it will never end. This is just a passing pattern arising in consciousness, not who I really am. I feel so small right now. Why do I always end up feeling this way after them? There must be something wrong with me. I tried so hard to be good enough. And still I feel like I failed. Notice how this feels in your body. I am so tired of feeling ashamed for just existing. Maybe if I had been quieter, nicer, smaller, they would not have looked at me like that. I hate that I cannot even tell what happened. Something is wrong with my system. Breathe into the heaviness in your chest. I remember feeling this way so many times before. It is like I disappear when I am around them. And then I am left with nothing but fog and this horrible shame. I thought I was past this. Notice how your body holds this memory. I am so confused about what is real anymore. My mind just watches this spiral happening again. Let the body soften a little. I feel so completely destabilized. It is like they reached inside me and broke something. And I handed them the key. I am observing myself collapse again, and I cannot stop it. This shame is swallowing me whole. Breathe into that wave of shame. I do not even know who I am after those interactions. I can stay here with this feeling without it destroying me. This experience is arising, and I am still breathing. My awareness holds this sensation without breaking. Underlying beliefs. Perhaps I believe that other people's moods are my fault. Maybe I think that if I am fully myself, I will be rejected or punished. It is possible that I believe my nervous system is broken and cannot recover. I might hold a belief that I have to earn safety through pleasing others. It could be that I expect to feel ashamed simply for taking up space. Possibly I am using hypervigilance as a way to predict and prevent emotional danger, which keeps me trapped in replaying conversations. I may be identifying with the role of the one who is always too sensitive or too much, which lets me preemptively blame myself instead of feeling the helplessness of not being able to change them. It is conceivable that these beliefs are old patterns from past relationships where I was not safe, and they are not the truth of who I am now. I acknowledge that the identity of the emotionally fragile one who crashes after contact once served to keep me small and safe from further rejection. But this structure is being outgrown now because I no longer need to survive that way. Adult self, gently turn toward your inner child. I am sorry to my inner child who experienced that you had to monitor everyone else's state just to feel safe. I am sorry you learned that your energy drains away because someone else's presence overrode your own. I see that you felt ashamed simply for being affected, as if your sensitivity was a crime. Your awareness is safe now. These emotions are temporary visitors. And I am the stable adult here with you now. Inner child speaks. Oh, you are not leaving me alone in this. I did not realize someone was watching over me. Adult speaks. I give you permission to stop scanning for danger in every face. I give you permission to let the fog clear without figuring out why it came. I release any guilt and shame you carry for being affected by difficult people. I honor our journey together through all those collapsed hours and days. I love you exactly as you are, sensitive system and all. You are safe to let go and just be yourself because I am here now and always to protect you. And these feelings are just passing weather, not the ground you stand on. Now that we've felt and honored the experience, allow understanding and light to arise naturally. Message from higher self. The old belief that you are responsible for others' internal states was an illusion born of a time when your survival depended on reading threat. That misunderstanding is dissolving now. Your inherent worth was never tied to whether you kept an interaction smooth. The truth is that you can feel dysregulated and still be whole. You can feel shame and still be untouched at your core. Thoughts, fears, and emotional reactions are simply appearances in consciousness, like clouds moving across a clear sky. The real you, the awareness noticing all of this, has never been wrecked, drained, or destabilized. It remains calm, free, and complete. Rest there, filling the void. I can feel a subtle backing beneath me, like the ground holds my weight even when I feel shaky. Containment is here. This experience fits inside my awareness without overflowing or breaking me. I sense expansion slowly, a gentle permission to breathe wider after I leave an interaction. Structure is present. I can take one small step away without needing to know the whole path. The ask, inner child. I give myself permission to feel the edge of that shame wave and simply notice it in my belly without acting on it. I allow my body to soften 1 degree after contact, just to see what that sensation feels like. Adult self. I choose to stay present with this foggy feeling for 10 seconds before I do anything to escape or explain it. I ground myself in my feet right now and let the replay of conversation happen without grabbing onto any one line. Higher self. I allow the recovery time to unfold at its own speed without forcing clarity or speed. I release control over when this pattern shifts, and I let my system learn through lived moments of ease rather than through understanding why. Bridge into your new reality. Earlier I would have spiraled for hours after that interaction, and now I notice a subtle gap where the spiral could begin but does not quite catch. Before I believed the shame meant I had done something wrong, and now I sense the shame as simply an old sensation passing through neutral space. I used to replay every word searching for my mistake, and now I observe the replay starting and my attention naturally drifting back to my own breath without force. Reclaim your power. I choose to release the belief that I am defined by how quickly I recover from difficult people. And I embrace the learning that my sensitivity is not a flaw, but a finely tuned instrument. I am the one witnessing the crash, the fog, and the shame. And that witnessing self has never been touched by any of it. So I am already capable and whole. Seeing it done, I imagine myself feeling light and clear after leaving a conversation that once would have wrecked me. I see myself now walking away from a difficult person. And instead of collapsing, I notice my feet on the ground, my breath moving easily, and a quiet sense of okayness in my chest. My mind does not race to replay. My energy stays inside my own container. I feel a gentle curiosity about what I want to do next. Not a heavy compulsion to figure out what went wrong. In this parallel reality, my nervous system learns that contact does not equal collapse. And I am the stable witness watching this new ease arise. I get to feel how light my shoulders are now after being around someone who used to drain me. My inner child finally knows what it feels like to leave an interaction and still feel like myself. It is so ordinary to walk away and just keep breathing without checking if I am okay. Now experience a new future. I am right there at the exact moment the interaction ends. The person is still there, but I am already turning away. I feel my feet on the floor. My breath is shallow but steady. I notice the familiar pull to scan their face for disapproval. Instead of grabbing that thought, I let my eyes drop to my own hands. I feel the air on my skin. A small wave of fog tries to settle in my head. I breathe and let it float there without panicking. My chest feels tight, but I keep breathing into my belly. I am not leaving my body. I am not disappearing. I feel the adult me standing behind my inner child, just present. The shame starts to rise, a hot wave in my stomach. I notice it and say inside, "Oh, there you are again." And I do not argue. I do not try to fix it. I just let my hand rest on my belly. The wave passes sooner than I expect. I walk to my car. I sit down. I do not turn on the radio. I just sit. My mind offers me a replay of what was said. I hear it like background noise, not an emergency. I yawn. My shoulders drop half an inch. I feel a strange thing, a tiny pocket of calm behind my ribs. I start the car. I drive. I do not analyze. I arrive home. I feel tired but not wrecked. There is a difference. I recognize it in my body. I am still me. I have not collapsed. I feel a quiet satisfaction, not loud relief. I make tea. The fog is mostly gone. The shame is a distant echo. I sit on my couch and feel my own energy slowly returning. Not because I fought for it, but because I did not lose it all the way this time. This is normal now. This is safe. Allow this felt sense to continue integrating naturally in the body and in life. Take a deep breath, feel the shift, and smile. Let this settle gently. There's nothing you need to do right now. You can return to this whenever you feel called. Be gentle with yourself. If something specific came up for you during that session, a memory, a belief, or a person who leaves you feeling this way, I can make a personal audio session built around your exact situation. It is free, it is made for you, and it works. Just check the link in the description to request yours.